All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Was the meeting properly noticed?
Yes, it was.
Roll call. Rick is absent, but being replaced with his more than qualified brother, Scott. Yeah. Maybe a tip jar. Motion to approve the agenda. Baker, seconded by Marge. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Minutes from June 14. Motion by Corbolio, seconded by Baker. Any discussion? Any additions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Correspondence.
We have none.
Project status. Kyle, are you front and center?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Looks like the departments have gone through and made some updates on the project status report. Are there any questions on it?
Marge,
I noticed that both the DA and the
Marge, you might want to move that closer.
I noticed that both the DA and Lori's have not been updated since 22.
Yep, I'll talk with them and see about updating theirs. I'm not sure what projects they have going on right now. I do send out a email every month reminding people to update the project status report. But I'll follow up with them.
Lori, you want to follow up?
As far as my office goes, there, we're still working with the judicial assistants on different projects with the calendaring and stuff. There's a lot to learn and all of that. As far as that goes, that's pretty much all. We don't really have any new projects going on right now. It's just kind of a cleanup. Same old stuff that we've been doing, so.
Okay, thank you. Marge, question answered. Thank you. Any other questions for Kyle? Project status. Seeing none, we'll move along. DA report. No questions or points of interest? Moving on. No questions on the expense report either, correct? Okay. Child support. Janet,
Good morning. So we're doing really well with our performance this year. I just had a triennial review with the Bureau of Regional Operations with the state and don't have the results back yet, but I think everything went great. Focusing on trying to get the arrears and the current up above the 80%, and I think I'm hoping and praying that we do that this year. My check summary expenditures revenue is attached. We'll be receiving our second quarter payment in about 2 weeks. So then the Joint Finance Committee did include most of the additional GPR funding that we requested, and the governor signed the 23-25 state budget into law, and we are getting next year, drum roll, an additional $36,759 in GPR funding because of the increase. So that's great.
you want to repeat that? Say that again, please.
All right, so it's very confusing the way this stuff works. However, we asked for 5 million additional in 24 and 5 million additional, it's general purpose revenue funding in 25. The Finance Committee cut it down a little bit. However, there is an unallocated balance for 23, which will be moved to 24. So we got most of what we asked for. When I went and spoke with other members of the Wisconsin Child Support Enforcement Association at the Joint Finance Committee sessions. So it went really well.
Mr. Pease.
Is there restrictions on what you can spend that on or is it just passed right through the office or is that for office use or? I guess-
It's the general purpose revenue. It goes to fund our program. Last year, it was 135,145. Next year it will be 171,904. So that's great news. It'll help. You know, I when I prepare my budget, I keep it the same for everything other than wages, so it'll help pay the additional for the wage increases, which is great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have you started on your new budget?
I am waiting for the numbers from the state. They haven't given us the official amounts yet, so I will have it prepared for you and I will submit it next month. I will be, like I said, attending the national conference when we have the PS&J meeting next month, but my budget will be included. I think Kyle probably will have that available for you. So. One more thing, I'm up for reelection for the board of directors for the Wisconsin Child Support Enforcement Association. And I wanted to ask if I can have approval to run again for my seat.
So you want to run for it, not from it?
No, I like it. I think it's great having a small county being a part of this association and representing our
Okay, and what's it called?
Wisconsin Child Support Enforcement Association. And I've been a member of the board for 10 years now.
Do I hear a motion to endorse Janet's in 3 places? Marge and Carvolio second. Any discussion? If not, please say aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carried.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your
welcome.
support. Tax intercept summary, for some reason, we didn't get any federal intercepts last month. We have no control and we don't know about them until after everything posts, so. Could be they're holding them for the joint. They do a 6-month hold for joint tax filings. When people are married, they hold the money for 6 months to see if the partner files an interspouse form. So that could be the case, but they keep us in the dark here.
As long as you got it figured out.
I
All right, anything else? Hearing none, we will move on.
Thank you.
You bet, same here. Clerk of Circuit Court, Lori.
Hi, I really don't have a whole lot of new stuff to report. You've got my monthly reports. Any questions on anything?
Supervisor Marge.
I don't have a question. I just noticed your numbers keep going up. Is your staff being able to keep up with this additional workload?
Yes, because we are at full staff right now. There's still a lot of training going on because I do have I have 3 members in my office that have been there less than a year. So there's still a lot of training going on. But yes, we are doing well at keeping up. Thank you.
Supervisor Pease.
Do you foresee always having a 3rd judge in there doing other cases, Kujak?
Court Commissioner Kuyak. At this point, that would be more the judge's decisions. I do know that it has free, she's there all day on Tuesday, hearing the child support and the small claims. We seem to have, like, Tuesdays are a busy day because we have all three courtrooms going.
Could those be dispersed differently so both the judges could eliminate that?
That would be a discussion to have with the judges.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that's not my decision, but it would be, I can bring it to them because I do have a meeting with them on Friday to go over some stuff, so.
Okay, thank you.
There's no expense to the county, is there, when you bring in a third one? Or is
You're
there?
talking about court commissioner? Yes, she's part of the budget. And we actually had started on the budget and her wages haven't gone up at all since she started. It's been the same all across the board. I can't remember how far back, 4 or 5 years. It's been the same for the last 4 or 5 years. And she's not requesting any increase.
Okay. Have you been through a trial recently? Is there, I mean, so often they get settled ahead of time. Have you had any that actually, you had a trial just recently or not?
Last week, there was a 2-day trial, Thursday and Friday, and it went until 9 o'clock that night, Friday night.
Say that again, please.
Last week,
Oh,
there was a 2-day trial. It was Thursday, pretty much until 4 or 4:30. I might have even gone a little bit later. And then Friday it went, I believe my bailiffs left around 8:45 or 9 o'clock.
is that in the AM or the PM?
PM. It was a long day for them,
Yeah,
and they started at 8:15.
you got more schedules soon?
We have, let's see, for the rest of this month, I don't have anything on this calendar, but next month I have a 3-day with Judge Curran. The first week in August, there's a 1-day with Judge Wood on the 25th and a 2-day with Judge Curran at the end of the month.
Okay. Any more questions for Lori?
And I do have one other thing. If anybody knows of anyone that would like to be a bailiff, please send them my way. For jury trials only.
All right. Anything on the expense report that we need to know about? Other than what's there? All right, moving on.
Thank you.
You bet. Hopefully you got a chance to read Jane's report. Any questions? Seeing none. Marilyn is with us, so we will have her speak. Morning.
Good morning. So I don't have too much to report. We are still behind last year, as you can see, but we're catching up every month. We actually are pretty caught up. The same with death certificates, but not cremation permits, which is odd. It means there's a lot more burials going on lately than we've seen in a long time. There is one mistake on there, that tissue bone harvest. In the first column, it says 1 for month to date, and there's actually 0. We have 1 for the year, but 0 for the month. Is there any questions? I have one other thing to talk about.
Any questions for Marilyn and her report?
Okay, so I'm going to throw this out there. Kyle and I have been working a a lot of other people. And I'm putting it out there because I thought maybe somebody listening might know. And Kyle says, Bob, you know most everything. So that's why I'm throwing this out there. So if anybody knows anything about something called the Poor Farm, which is a cemetery in Jackson Township. And what I found out, and we've been researching this for a week at least, the county owns it. But we don't know where to go from there. I have somebody that has contacted me that wants to be buried there, and we just don't know where to go to get permission. Somebody denied permission a few years ago, but we don't know who that someone is. So if anybody has any information on where I go in the county to request permission.
That went with the old county farm. It's down on the other side of Jordan Lake.
G and Fur.
It's right up on top of the hill, and as you turn to the east or to your left as you're going south,
Mhm.
it's on the right. They were unmarked, and we did some work on that. You weren't here. I'm trying to think who was involved with that, because it hadn't been mowed. And we actually had somebody mow it, or somebody mowed it on their own.
Hmm.
And they found some of the graves, and some were still unmarked or unnamed. But that came with the old county farm when they put prisoners and so forth. There was a dairy down there, and they put the prisoners to work. And that's how that all originated.
Did you know the county owns it?
Yes.
No. Okay.
But I'd have to go back and think on, it might have been Helgeson that got it going. Anyway, somebody involved with a cemetery association. Brent, you're looking like maybe you might know something about it.
No, just pretty impressed. I have never heard of it, and I could drive right to it from your directions. So that's pretty just in wow about that more than anything.
Some of us are older than others. Scott Pease.
Marilyn, did you contact Jake or his dad about that?
Yes, neither one knows anything about it. They've seen it. They don't know anything about it. I've contacted the Jackson, somebody that was a clerk previous at Dolores Benish. And she said that there were two guys that were keeping it up and mowing and so forth. And then they asked the county if they could be buried there. And the county said no. They're just saying the county. So I have no idea who that is or what's going on with it. I talked to Jody Helgeson. She doesn't have any information, the Historical Society. I've got deeds, and I've got a lot of information on the property, but my question is, who do I contact to get somebody buried there?
I got a couple of ideas. Let me follow up. a little
Okay,
bit.
thank you.
All right. Anything else? All right, we will move on. Sheriff York.
Morning, everyone. Any questions on that first report? So that just outlines a couple news releases that we put out, two of which were fatal motor vehicle accidents. Then we did a boating safety course for the Adams Fire District. And we'll be having our national night out at the fairgrounds on August 2nd from 5 to 8 p.m. So that's a night. Basically, we have fire trucks, ambulances, emergency personnel. We have a drone demonstration, canine demonstration, medical helicopter will land, and then just a bunch of community safety type booths that will be there for anybody to come get safety information. And then on July 26th, we'll be partnering again with the Speed Awareness Day. So speeding is continues to be a contributing factor in a lot of accidents around the country and in Adams County. So we'll have increased patrols on that day and continuing to utilize our grant funding that we received for the Click It or Ticket grant funding. So that's all I had for that.
Now, what day is it you're checking speeds? I'm just curious.
July 26th is this specific day, but we have grant shifts throughout the summer months as well. So
All right, go on.
all right, so moving on to the next. Those are just all the normal reports I submit. 144 bookings and oops. Our calls were 1,307, and then just with that, our weekly report that we put out on our Facebook page, which includes the week of 4th of July, so it'd be the Wednesday before 4th of July to the day after the 4th of July. We had 460 calls for service during that one 7-day period. So busy 4th of July overall, but nothing I guess major report otherwise, just busy.
Supervisor Edwards.
Yes, you're welcome. That's all I really had, I guess.
You've had a couple fatalities, one in the southern part. Was there one up on Z or somewhere up in there?
Yeah, that was that's I think the 4107 that's posted on that first page. Yeah. The news release up on Z and Bighorn motorcycle deer fatality. And then the next one we had a fatality on Double E just in Adams County from Marquette County. That was on July 1st.
Did you get asked to help with traffic or something over in Washera on this fire deal or?
We did not. I did reach out to the sheriff the day before, the day of the fire, and asked if he needed any assistance, and he said that they had it covered at that time. So
Supervisor Pease. I figured you were ready. Knock it off. All right. Any other questions for Sheriff's Department? Otherwise, we're going to move on. Upcoming agenda items. Either let me know or Lana or manager. We'll make sure it gets taken care of. Otherwise, it's going to be short and sweet. We kind of knew it would. Next meeting date?
August 9th.
And just for explanation, the reason I personally decided that this would be a good idea to still have this is because we are rotating different departments. And if we get off kilter, which we was for a while, try and keep everything up to date. So like I said, we knew, Lana knew that this was going to be somewhat short-lived. And so that's where we stand. All right. Seeing nothing else, we will have the meeting stand adjourned. Thank you all.